What's up, y'all? We are back with more career questions as I go on my daily walk after just having lunch while I'm on my break from work. But if you're tuning in for the first time, hello everyone. My name is Coach Robes. I am a working professional here in New York City with over 15 years of career experience spanning areas like accounting, starting my own business, so I guess entrepreneurship, working at small startups, freelancing work as a photographer, mentoring and coaching, and my latest industry and current work is involved in social media advertising. So if you're tuning in for the first time, this channel is dedicated to 100 questions that I will answer about my career to hopefully help talk out and speak through a lot of learnings and insights that I've had over the last 15 years covering all the different areas that I've just mentioned. And with that, I will get into the next question on the long list that I've gathered, which is, what did I want to do when I was growing up as a kid versus what do I do now? And I love this question because it is something that all of us, I think, at some point in our lives have to ask ourselves when we're young, is what do we want to be when we grow up? And my story really has to do a lot with my dad. And as a kid, I would see his work and want to be just like him. And so, a little story time, my father was a lawyer. He was an immigration attorney, well, primarily practicing immigration, amongst other things, real estate, tax law. But his main focus was immigration law. In the 90s, early 2000s, my father even wrote a book around immigration laws and best practices to help Filipinos who are immigrating to the United States understand the process and figure out how to do that. And so, yeah, I always thought I wanted to be a lawyer because, I saw what my dad did. And to be honest, he always really encouraged me to study and read a lot because, for him, he really wanted me to become a lawyer. He was the first lawyer in his family, and he really just wanted to pass that down to either my brother or myself. And so, as a kid, you just want to be like your dad sometimes, right? Or like your mom. Your parents are really the first people that you look to for inspiration when it comes to what you do in your career or professional work. And so, yeah, I grew up thinking that I would eventually become a lawyer, go to law school, and do all that. And for a time, it seemed like I was on the right track, or at least there were things I was trying to do to put myself on the right track. If you're from New York and you're from the Queens area, you might be familiar with Cardozo High School, which has an exceptional law program for their high school students that prepares them and sort of gets them ready for a potential career in law. But unfortunately, I didn't get into that program. My school grades weren't good enough to make it into that prestigious Cardozo program. And my dad was definitely bummed about that. But, he still saw an opportunity where maybe I could eventually end up going to law school. And so I studied business, and I ended up taking a degree up in accounting. And that actually led me down considering taking up becoming a CPA, or getting some kind of accredited license. So yeah, none of that really panned out, as you might see from my other responses and my other questions and videos that I've made. Becoming a CPA and getting certified in accounting definitely did not pan out for me. Because what I do now, or I guess the question is, what did I want to be when I grow up versus what I do now, is I work in marketing. I have spent the last 9 years in advertising agencies as a social media marketing advertiser. And what that basically means is that I help clients figure out how to use their budgets to place their brand messaging and videos in the right areas on social media. So if you ever wonder how a sponsored ad gets shown to you on places like Instagram or TikTok or Snapchat, then yeah, that's what my team does. That's what my team does at work. And that's what I help my clients specifically figure out what to do with their social media accounts. But what I do now is, well, the way I would describe it is I love to coach people. And it took me many years in advertising to figure this out, but it really started with mentorship and being part of mentoring programs like Apex for Youth. Shout out to Apex for Youth. Amazing community, amazing people in that program, amazing mentors, where I got to mentor kids from middle school and high school in the year 21, I believe that was. At the same time, I also joined as a mentor for the Co-op Digital Marketing Apprenticeship. So shout out to that group as well. They are, in all the major cities, New York, San Francisco, LA, New York City. And being part of these programs in 21 really helped me develop an understanding about mentorship and coaching, and how there is this massive gap of knowledge when it comes to different generations, right? Like, I'm a millennial, and the people that I was mentoring in these programs were, young millennials or people in Gen Z, and they're people who are entering high school for the first time, entering college for the first time, or entering the workforce at the right time, or at the same time rather. And so this area of mentorship really opened my eyes to realizing that your experience, like you right now, the person who's watching this video, you have thousands upon thousands of experiences, stories, challenges, wins, losses, all these things that culminate to your life that someone out there is just dying to learn about, or would be so grateful to learn about how you overcame something or how you navigated a certain aspect. Because when we really think about it, while our lives are genuinely unique, and I do believe that, there are many overlapping and, let's say, common areas that many of us travel in our own lives and personal journeys, and especially when it comes to things like our career, right? So when I spent that year mentoring for other people, it really helped me unlock the fact that, like, after 9 years working in advertising, or however long I was when I joined these programs, I couldn't believe that there were people out there that were willing to listen to my advice, willing to listen to whatever expertise or knowledge I had about the advertising industry or about social media. And to be honest, I just never looked at it that way. I just never thought that the things that I knew about advertising or being a working professional mattered to anyone else. So when I hear the question about what I do, what I wanted to be versus what I do now, I kind of want to say that it actually ended up being closer to what my dad wanted. So let's break it down. My dad was a lawyer, and the way I noticed his work being done was he was an expert in a particular area, which was immigration law. And so he would have people, clients, visit him at our home, because that's where his office was. He worked from home. And people paid my father hourly to meet with him and for my father to work on their paperwork and process and help them get through whatever immigration questions or challenges there were, right? Okay, so stay with me. That's what my father did. He was an expert in a particular area, and his knowledge and expertise helped guide people through immigration challenges and the process. And so here I am, I'm 37 now. I've had 15 years of professional experience, 9 years of that in advertising. And now I'm out here doing, I would argue, the same thing. I have all this experience in how to navigate the early part of your career and, other parts of advertising, how to deal with clients, how to write recommendations, how to write insights, how to speak to people. And I'm passing that on to people that need that help. Just like my dad was able to help people who needed help with immigration. So I don't know, you could call it a stretch that I'm comparing the two, because, advertising and law are clearly very different. But at the core, I do honestly and genuinely believe I'm doing very similar things now. I want people to recognize me for my talents and my abilities and the things that I personally know about life and advertising and my career, or whether it's photography. But the ability for clients or other people to pay for your time and knowledge, that is a critical part in the next phase of my career or growing my career. If someone can find value in the things that you know about life, and it can help other people somehow, just like how my father was able to help people and bring families together through his immigration practice, then so be it. That's exactly what I want to do now. And I want to figure out how to make that more a part of my life. So I know that was a really long-winded answer, but I hope there are some key takeaways there that will help you understand the question that I have answered for myself here in this video. But what did I want to do when I was growing up versus what I do now? And I guess you could say in a way that I've made it, or at least I'm starting to be on that journey of being just like my dad. People saw him as an expert in something, and they paid for his time, and his expertise and his knowledge. And you know, that's what I want to do too. And it starts with this YouTube channel, and it starts with you hopefully clicking subscribe, asking comments in the section below, hopefully. And yeah, I really do hope that the things that I'm saying and the way I'm articulating my responses about my career are helpful for anyone out there that needs help, that needs guidance. Whether you are in a different function or not, I do think that the last 15 years of trying out so many different areas of work have definitely helped shape a unique journey for my entire career. And so that's what I hope this long list of questions that ChatGPT is going to have me respond to is hopefully helpful to you guys. It's a great question. I think it's a question that maybe a lot of us can answer with our careers, but yeah, I hope there's something you've taken away from that entire story. So thank you for listening, and I'll see you guys in the next question. Peace.